Hello, welcome everyone. Okay, a few things before we start. Take a nice deep breath. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give away a $5 reading today. Okay, so everybody that's come in right now, if you don't have a question, that's cool. If you do, that's awesome. Okay, AcuMarie, you don't have a question just yet. Okay, so if you want a free $5 reading today, answer this question. Oh, sorry, AcuMarie, I added you in. Okay, so Dancer, Divine Feminine, hi, welcome. So, hello, Eldonna, Amazing Fruits, Lilac, Ashk, Alexandra, hi, AcuMarie, Little Notes by Me, Dancing Oracle, hi, Divine Feminine Chronicles. Right, so before we begin, what I want you to do is take a nice deep breath, in through your nose and out through your mouth. And if anyone that would like a free $5 reading today in chat, okay, so if you're interested, can you tell me from the Swagatam Tarot, okay, from the Swagatam Tarot, can you tell me what card was released today in the trailer on my channel? Well done, Amazing Fruits. Well done. That was quick. Okay, Amazing Fruits. Oh, everybody. Okay, so Amazing Fruits got the first one that answered it right. Okay, so Amazing Fruits, congratulations, a $5 reading. Okay, what I'm going to do is anyone who can name the other oracle deck that I used that has been released today also on my channel. If you can name the other oracle deck that was created, you will also get what was released today on my channel. You'll also go in the you'll also get a free, the first one answer, you'll get the free. Oh, good, Dancing Oracle, well done. Brilliant. So Amazing Fruits and Dancing Oracle. So think really carefully because you're going to get a $5 reading today. Well done, Dancing Oracle and Amazing Fruits. Welcome. So everybody's automatically added to the chat. Now don't forget, we do have everybody who donates today does go in the draw for a free 30-minute reading. So we've got Amazing Fruits and Dancing Oracle with free $5 readings, which I will do in their time. And we're going to start so that you will just get, because they're the free still thing, you'll still get them within your time frame. So think very carefully about your questions, what you want to do. Okay, so sorry, I've been mucking around with the angel decks this morning. I did use the Elder Tarot, done my meditation, done my yoga. So had my rude coffee. Rude not to drink it. So let's have a think about things. So everybody's automatically added. Don't type in your question yet. Please hold your questions. Okay, so the list so far. This is who I've got at the moment. And then I will continue with the next list starting from Divine Feminine. Okay, Divine Feminine, Katrina, and TS. So hold off on your questions, otherwise they're going to get lost in chat. Okay, so first ones are Bart, Eldonna, and Amazing Fruits. So if Eldonna's here, please make sure that you type in your question as well. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do Bart, Aldona, and amazing fruits to start with. So if those, so I've got Bart's question here. So I want Aldona and amazing fruits. And when I've done Bart, Lilac can put their questions in. When I've done the next one, ask Shay. Sorry, ask Shay. Sorry, I've spelled that wrong. Akshay. Sorry, it should have been Akshay. Akshay, sorry. Alexandra, then AcuMarie, Little Notes by Me, Dancing Oracle, then I'll do Divine Feminine Chronicles, then I'll do TS, and then I'll do Katrina. Then I'll do Katrina, then TS. Okay, so don't type your question in. Oh, yeah, sorry, AcuMarie. AcuMarie, you don't want your reading. That's right. Sorry. Forget about AcuMarie. So, Corey. Cool. Yeah. So, minus AcuMarie. So, cool. Right, but let's begin. Okay, how's your friendship with Drew? And I'm actually getting drawn to the Angel Tarot by Jane Wallace. Right, how's your friendship? If you've just come in, hi, how are you? Please don't type in your questions. Please hold off. Mods, if you can remind people not to put their questions in until I ask for them as well. And don't forget to remind people that any donations will go in the draw for a free 30-minute reading. Thanks. Thank you. Oh, but right, let's have a look. How's your friendship with Drew? Well, the first card I've got is Nine of Pentacles. So Knight of Pentacles is, to me, is normally about a long journey, things taking time and that, but I do get the word trust. So I think it's got to just trust that everything's going in the right direction, everything's doing as it's supposed to. There could be some challenges in regards to the relation, in regards to the friendship as well. There could be some moments of challenges here. I do get that. Oh, it's interesting because I do get the 10 of Wands as well. So overall, you just got to trust that things are going to move in the right direction. Things are going to move in the way that it's thing. There might be some challenges to it. You might find things at the time, in the moment. Okay, so overall, it's going to be a relationship that you have to trust that things, you're going to be able to work through those challenges. You're going to be able to work through anything that sort of weighs you down. I think communication here is going to be really, really important. I just get this sense of making sure that you guys communicate with your friendship, you know, that you're honest. I think that's really important. So it's a friendship that you got to trust that you can overcome any challenges. Anything that weighs you down, you're going to be able to talk about, you're able to communicate and that sort of thing. So that's really important there. You're welcome, Bart. You're welcome. Okay. Aldona. I did see here. Okay, a yes and no question. Okay, so when we do yes or no questions, the best deck for that is the Angel Answers with using the yes and no cards. Okay, so will T leave you alone? He's been bothering me lately. Okay, so will T actually leave you alone? Let's have a look. Will T leave you alone? Yes. Okay, he will leave you alone. over time, maybe not straight away. So what do you need to do? So what else do you need to know in regards to tea? Let's have a look. Whoops. It's me being clumsy, and I know this one here is pulling out. Okay, the High Priestess. It's all about listening to your intuition. For me, the High Priestess is about looking at your experiences, your knowledge. I think that's really important too. Looking at your knowledge of, and I'm talking about experiences of the past here, and knowledge to allow you to move forward. But trusting your own intuition is super important. That stood out to me straight away. As soon as I turned the card over, the first thing I got was listen to your intuition. It is going to be some time. It does say about having patience as well. Having patience, and also making sure you consider carefully what you want before acting. So making sure that you sort of create the boundaries you need, make sure that you have that sense of, I'm just getting lots of little information coming through here. A sense of, yes, he'll leave you alone, but it's about the boundaries that you create, looking at the experiences of your of the past and allowing that to use that knowledge to create the boundaries you want, to allow you to sort of move forward. So trusting in your intuition is super important here, creating a sense of boundaries, and that comes from your learning as well, your knowledge. So yes, he'll leave you alone. Eventually. Might take some time, but it's all about having that patience and allowing yourself to create the boundaries you need. Okay. Amazing fruits. You want a career reading? Okay. This is kind of strange. I'm sort of getting the Occult Tarot with the Fallen Angels. Okay, this is kind of, okay. Okay. Career. Career, let's have a look. So what do you need to know about your career? First thing. Interesting. I get the Four of Pentacles with the Six of Wands. So I get it's important to hold on to something. I'm getting important that there are some things that you need to actually hold on to create a sense of stability and foundations in your career. Okay, there's foundations in career to bring the success that you want. Okay, so Four of Pentacles is that sense of holding on to something. I feel like it's really important for you to hold on to something that's really important to bring the success that you want in your career. Okay? So that's super important here, is to be able to have that sense of foundations, stability in what you want to do in regards to your career, in regards to moving forward on your life, to having the success that you want. Okay, so you need to hold on to your skill. I think it feels very much about your skills and your abilities. I think you need to hold on to the way that you can work within your path. Yeah, so that's really important here. Okay, it's all about the connection you have with the work, with what you want to do, with your career, with your chosen career, with what you want to do. Okay, it's all about using your skills and your abilities to manifest what you truly want in your career. Okay, it's about you choosing what you can do within yourself to be able to move forward. It's very much about you looking at the connection that you have with what's important here. So that's super important here, to be able to do that. Sorry, just, yeah. Okay, so super important. Amazing fruits. So here you got this thing of not limiting yourself with the Eight of Swords, not limiting yourself. Don't allow yourself to be limited. Okay, it's allowing yourself to open up, to be limitless. Okay, again, you get that sense of, with Four of Wands, is that celebrating commitment, contracts, that sense of with the fourth thing. I get so much with this. I get the sense of like celebrating, being able to have that commitment, that sense of being able to have that sense of contracts being created in regards to your career. So creating some stability and foundations by not limiting yourself. Okay, amazing fruits. Don't limit yourself. Look at what your passions, your creativity opens up the world to. Okay, so the card we get here, discovery with Marbas. Okay, with discovering, there's so much available to you. The world is open to you in regards to your career, but it's all about your passions, not allowing yourself to be limited by thoughts and ideas. Allow yourself to open up your ideas to whatever you want to create in your life. Don't limit yourself. I feel like the cage is open to throw open the door. Okay, amazing fruits with your career reading. So I feel like it's don't limit yourself. You've got success, you've got victory on your side, you've got that sense of moving in the right direction. If you can just open yourself up to discover what you truly want to achieve in regards to your career. It comes down to your own actions. What you choose to do is going to make a big difference to moving forward. Okay? Right. Let's continue. Okay, so who did I say was next? Okay. Lilac, Akshay, and Alexandra. Lilac, thank you. Yes, you're automatically added, Mirror. You're automatically added. You just have to be patient. Hi, New York finest. Welcome, welcome. Hi, intuitive chosen one. Everybody automatically added. Don't forget, you will be added. So please be patient. Please wait. You just have to wait your turn. Don't forget donations. Anyone who donates for a reading over the next 5 days goes in the draw for a Valentine's reading, or a reading valued at $30. The reason why I say Valentine's is because it's going to be drawn on Valentine's Day. Right, so how should you proceed in regards to, remember, when I'm doing a free reading, you only get 2 cards. If you want to donate and get more information, you're going to get more cards, okay? You're going to get, depending on how much you donate to what you get. Don't forget to check out the pinned link or the links down below. Don't forget, with Ko-Fi, PayPal and Stripe has now been added. Now Stripe's been added so you can use your credit cards. Yay, done. Yay, yay. So not just PayPal, but also with, if you don't have a PayPal account, I do also have the Stripe, which you can use your credit cards in that as well with. So don't forget, with Ko-Fi, they have been added. You can also check out the links down below, which give you the PayPal link and also the link to my blog if you want to go that way as well, that option. Please let me know if you don't donate through Ko-Fi, because only Ko-Fi automatically shows up on my on the chat. Okay, so don't forget, I'm only doing 2 cards with your readings, with your free readings. If you want more information, you're going to have to donate. Right, so what are R's intentions towards me? How should I proceed? Sorry, just had a bit of a tickly throat then. Okay, let's do the rider tarot deck. Oh! Just dropped a moon, baby. I don't want that one. Right, how should you proceed is the best question here. How should you proceed with R? Interesting cards here. How should you proceed? Okay, you've got to look below the surface. You've got to really do some deep diving here with the Magician. That's what I'm getting here. Look below the sleight of hand. I feel like you need to really look deep within here. Look below the surface at what's actually going on. Look at the facts of the situation here. You also need to, I feel like there could be a sense of, you can choose to take a risk. Okay, you can take a risk, have a sense of, yeah, I just get taking a risk is what I got here. It's all about creating the new beginnings on your life. I think it's totally up to you to really look deep within yourself first, and then you can take a risk in whatever direction that will be for you. Okay, taking a risk can either be that you move forward with the relationship, or you choose to take a risk in a new direction to create new beginnings on your journey. It is totally up to you about being free-spirited, having a sense of enjoying the moment, having the sense of laughter, adventure. Look, it's totally up to you, really, about looking below the surface, Lilac. It's important that you do some deep searching within yourself. Look below your own surface about what you want to do, about creating. Because remember, what happens within you can affect what's going on around you. And what's going on around you can affect what's going on within you. As above, so below sort of energy here. Thanks, New York Finest. Welcome, welcome. Thank you very much. Okay, so here, really important to sort of think about those things, Lilac. Okay, so here we have New York Finest talking about PayPal. So let me just have here. Just have dog into PayPal. Sorry, it just takes a minute because I've got to go through the security check. that's right. I forgot that it come out. Okay. My rude coffee came out, so that took. That's cool. There's no worries. Oh, wow. That's a huge reading. Okay, so New York Finest has donated. Yes. Akshay, can you please post your question, and I'll do it after PayPal for New York Finest. So I just need New York Finest's question. New York Finest, if you can just type in your question, that'll be great. Moon baby. Oh, you want the yes or no question, right? Okay. You just want to know yes or no. Right. Is Nitesh in love with you? Is Nitesh in love with you? No. No. There we go. Question answered. No. Not in love with you. Okay. Okay. So this is because I am going to do general update on your life with gifts and wealth. And so, because it is such a big reading, I'm actually going to use a Swagatam Tarot, but I'm not going to use the Gita Oracle with it. I know. I'm just going. Might be. I might use that, but I might use some other stuff too. Whoops, where's the book? Because I'm still... Regards to the smoke. Whoops, I'm just dropping everything. Whew. Right. Yep. Okay. This is quite a big reading, guys, so you guys are going to have to be super patient. Oh, no, this is New York Finest is one of my members on Ko-Fi. Huge support. Huge support. So very cool. Very cool. Right, okay, so here we go. New York Finest, right, let's do your reading. Regards to, this is going to be quite a big one here. I'm actually going to go a little bit extra. Right, so let's begin with that to start with. Okay, first. Okay, the first one is about your life in general. Okay, it's important to have your sense of strength. It's about that sense of being able to have that sense of commitment to what you want to achieve. That's the first thing you need to think about, is what your commitment is to the adventures, to having a sense of happiness in your life. Choosing how you react to situations is super important here. We get moments of actually taking a moment out to pause, to review your life, where you want to go, what are your goals, what are your dreams, what do you want to achieve in regards to your career, everything in life. It's about your passions, your creativity. So using that inner strength, that commitment to where you want to be, is going to be super important here, to have that sense of looking for opportunities for adventures, looking for new opportunities for you to be able to have that sense of happiness, contentment, satisfaction. Okay, so here we have this sense of moving forward on this direction, having a moment to reflect, to have a look at where you are in your life. Okay, any gifts? Okay, let's have a look at the gifts that are happening in your life. Interesting. Dreaming big is the first card I get here. It's about dreaming big is super important. To be able to look at your goals, to make sure you don't let your emotions get the better of you, is super important here. Creating the new beginning, taking a risk, a sense of enjoying each moment as well is your gift. Being able to enjoy the moments, to be able to dream big is super important. To be able to enjoy the journey is what I want to say here. Keep getting here. Definitely about facing any fears that you've got is going to bring you a sense of triumph. Okay, it's going to bring you success in your life. If you're able to face your fears, you're going to be able to have that success that you truly want. Have that triumph. Absolutely. Okay, so that's really important. So any wealth, your finances. Let's have a look at your finances. Okay, so finances. There's going to be some challenges. It's going to be moments of disappointment, just moments of sadness in regards to your finances, okay? There'll be moments that are difficult. But overall, you can be successful. Interesting, with Six of Wands, with victory. You can overcome those challenges, okay? You can overcome those difficult moments with your finances there. It's all about looking below the surface, using your skills, your abilities to manifest your reality. Okay, with the Magician card here. Now, I've got King of Smoke, and that's the only card that I'm not sure about in here because I haven't quite studied that yet. But let's go King of Smoke. So King of Smoke, interesting, is all about happiness, laughter, and joy, love within your it's about bliss in regards to your finances. I am going to read this. The goal of life is to exist completely as the Slayer, by loving and caring for yourself and others. I wish you all a fantastic journey to your moksha, and that we may meet again in the oceans of bliss and become one again. Namaste. So it's about allowing yourself to be happy and joyful. And I do feel like you're going to have the success that you want in regards to your finances. Okay, this is your wealth here. Okay, right, love. Love, interesting. Okay, with love, you're going to have some rocky moments. You're going to have some shake-ups. You're going to have some enlightenment, some understandings. But your ability to build the love that you want in your life, the relationships in your life, okay? You're going to create memories, okay? So I feel like you're going to create memories in regards to the love. It's going to be bound in abundance with your love. But you have to think very carefully about the love you want with the King of Swords. Sorry, you can't quite see that card. It's a bit with the light. It's a bit, doesn't really sort of show. There we go. King of Swords. So you've got that sense of thinking very deeply. You have to analyze the type of relationship that you really want. You've got to review it. You've got to think about it. But you've got the ability to have an abundant love life with full of prosperity, sense of creating memories. Yes, there'll be some challenges, but you're going to have that sense of love. Okay, so that's love all. So let's have a look at the Gita card that you're going to focus on. That's the first thing you're going to do. So let's have a look at the Gita deck here. It just takes a minute. Thanks, Dancing Oracle. Really cool. Awesome. Appreciate it. Really helps when the mods do that. So, first card we've got here is Pearls on a Thread. Okay, so it's going to take a minute to read through here, because I've got to do a bit of reading in regards to this. Now, the reason why New York Finest is getting the reading is because of the donation that's being done. Right, pearls on a thread. Know for certain that whatever is found in this creation arises out of a combination of material and spiritual energies, being the origin and dissolution of all. There is nothing beyond the deity or beyond me, Arjuna. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. So know for certain that whatever is found in this creation arises out of a combination of my material and spiritual energies. I am the origin and dissolution of all. There is nothing beyond me, Arjuna. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. Okay? Hi, Lady Kapira. Right, now, next cards for your reading is the Crystal Grid Oracle, of course. Right. Okay. Here you got Joie with compassion. Okay. It's about having compassion for yourself as well as for others, New York Finest. You've got to have compassion for yourself. Super important. Again, you get that sense of courage, that strength coming out here. And one last card is about making sure you stay protected. Okay, so your crystals was Ajuin, red jasper, and black tourmaline. Okay, so here you've got the sense of having that sense of compassion for yourself, which is super important, having the courage, the strength to be able to keep going, to make sure that you stay protected as well through your journey. Okay, so that's super important here. Okay, so here you go. So that's your reading. So I hope that's helped New York Finest. Right, and then I'm going to continue with the free list if there's no other donations. I will continue with the free list. Everybody's still got 20 minutes before the hour's up, so everybody who's come in within this live, this first hour, has been added automatically. So don't worry, everybody's on the list. You will be called. You just got to be patient. I'm not Speedy Gonzalez. I like to give you quality. It's not about the quantity, it's the quality. So everyone's going to get their reading, and I want to make sure it's quality. So that's why it's not rushed. But you just have to be patient. I don't rush. I try not to rush my readings because I like to give you quality. Okay, so there's no hurry. Everyone's going to be added. So please just be patient. You just have to wait your turn until you're called. And if you don't want a reading, that's fine. If you do and you want more than just the 2 cards, don't forget donations are available. So everybody's still all added. Right, so I'm still going through the free list. So I did Akshay. Right, so who was next on the list? Let me get up to this list here that I was still doing. Okay. So Alexandra, Little Notes by Me, and Dancing Oracle. Okay. So Alexandra, Little Notes by Me, and Dancing Oracle. And then I will continue with Katrina, T.S., Gustavi, Intuitive Chosen One, Mirror, Patricia, Farah, Eliza, Lady Kapira, T.S., if you're added, yeah, you've been added. Yes. Oh, King of Swords can be very much about New York Finest. King of Swords has got many layers. It's all about thinking. Okay, I feel it's very much about being able to analyze the situation, analyze what's going on in your life. Okay, so that's super important, being able to analyze. King of Swords can also talk about a sense of being quite firm, being logical in the situation. Don't let your emotions get the better of, again, you know, not letting your emotions get the better of you. Allowing yourself to just making sure that you're clear-headed, you're ready for a sense of, can talk about anything to do with communication, ideas, intellect, thoughts, perceptions, all those sort of things with the King of Swords. Can be very much so. And you pulled it with the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is a reminder to have that sense of nurturing your intuition, trusting in your intuition, allowing you to nurture your ideas, your plans, look at the truth, the facts of the situation, nurture the truth of the situation as well. Right, Alexandra. Oh, how's your dad been feeling about you? Okay, so are you talking about how your dad feels about with what's going on? I know that there's a lot of stuff happening here. So let's get the angels. Okay, let's do the angels with Radley Valentine's angel deck. How's your dad been feeling around you? What's been going on here? You've both been a little anxious and everything like that. So how's your dad been feeling around you? I know there's a lot of stuff. What do you need to know in regards to Dad? New York Finest. I've got a couple of people I've got to do readings for this afternoon. You'll have to message me, Alex, New York Finest. You'll have to message me. Okay, how's your dad been feeling about you? We've got 10 of air. So I feel like there's a sense of things changing. There's a change in the air with regards to it. Feels like there's an end of a difficult situation. It's about lots of changes, about things getting better. It does talk about recovering from an addiction as well. And we've got 7 of water, which tells you to choose wisely the path that lies ahead. I think you need to look at all the options that are around you. I think you need to make some choices in regards to how you react. I think it's, yes, little notes by me. Please, can you type in your question? Okay, Alexandra. So I think it's really important to think your dad's making some changes in his life. I feel like there's some endings to what's been going on. It does feel like there's some endings to that. I don't know, you York finest. I have to think about it after the stream. You'll have to wait until after the stream. I can't think about that right now. I've got to do the readings, New York finest. I'll talk to you after. Okay, so Alexandra, I think it's really important for you just to think about that things are changing with your dad. I think there's some changes going on with your dad. There are some changes going on with that connection here. Yeah, he's got an addiction with alcohol. I feel like he's going to make some changes. I feel like he's going to make some changes with that. That's why I feel like there's some ending to it. Okay, so I do feel like there's going to be looking at some options available to you, how you choose to react and everything like that. It's about having the healing that you need as well. That's going to be super important around your dad. Okay. Nope, that's cool, Dancing Oracle. I can scroll back for that. Thank you. Okay, Alexandra, so that's super important here for you to know that things are going to change with your dad. I can't answer any questions. I can't answer anything outside of doing the tarot readings at the moment. You'll find us. You'll just have to wait until after the stream. So, Alexandra. Little notes by me and the Dancing Oracle. So did little notes by me type in their question? Yes. Yep, Dancing Oracle, you're all good. I can go back to that. How does MS feel about you? Okay, let's do the deck of heroes. This popped out straight away. What have we got? Ooh, 21 of the world. 21, which is world, which is about the things ending. It's a new cycle. It does feel like things are changing. Things are moving forward. Oh, and this popped out. With Temperance. Okay, there's a little bit of blending. I get a sense of tranquility, peace, blending things, not being too excessive in their reactions. I feel like things are moving. There's a moving on energy. They're trying to find a sense of peace and tranquility within their own life. Okay, that's what you need to know. You need to know that they're moving on. They're moving into a new cycle. Things are moving within their lives. There are some sense of trying to find a sense of tranquility and peace in their life. So it doesn't feel like they're really sort of thinking about you as such. I feel like there's a sense of that they're moving into new possibilities. They're moving into new cycle in their life. They're making some changes in their own life. They're trying to find a sense of tranquility and peace. They're trying to have that sense of not being too excessive in their reaction. So they're trying to keep calm, keep relaxed. They're dealing with their emotions in many ways. They're moving into new cycles. So it doesn't feel like MS is doing anything about you. They just feel like they're moving in their own life, their own, within their own, they've got stuff going on for their own life, basically. Right, Dancing Oracle, I did see your question up here. Okay, so let's do this a little bit. Let's do actually, let's talk about that away. Let's do it this way. For Huxa Tarot. Ooh. Right. Right, Dancing Oracle, in about 5 minutes, the list will be closed. In about 5 minutes, I'll be closing the free list. Is Be My Twin Flame. Right. Ooh, ow. Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look. What's going on here? Whew, 7 of Water. Okay, not all options are going to lead you in the right path. You have to look really carefully at all the options available to you. It does feel like there's some things that need to be dealt with the Eight of Earth. Eight of Earth tells us that there's some things that need to be dealt with, that need to be finished, need to be completed before you sort of move on. But it's really important to look at all the options that are available to you and be able to choose the path that you can feel like that's within your life. I think like not all shiny things are good. Okay, not all shiny things are good. Okay. Not all shiny things are good. There are some things that need to be finished and before you can move on. Here we've got 10 of Earth. 10 of Earth is that sense of things ending. There are some things that need to end, that need to be final, that need to be dealt with. Again, you've got that sense of thing. And then you've got Ace of Fire, which gives us a sense of a breakthrough, an understanding. So when things end, it gives us a sense of an understanding, a sense of being able to have that breakthrough to move forward, that new creation, that new passion in your life. Okay, so having things end with the 10 of Air allows Ace of Fire things to begin, things to have that sense of a breakthrough and understanding, enabling you to sort of move forward with a new project, a new idea, a new thought. Here we've got 5 of Air, which gives us a sense of there might be some quarrels, some disagreements, maybe some disappointments, things maybe not quite working out the way you want them to with the 5 of Air, but you can overcome that challenge. Okay, you can overcome those challenges. You can be definitely feel like there's a sense of being able to defeat any challenges. Okay, overcome those challenges is really over there. Here we've got Page of Earth, which tells me you've got a lot to learn and discover yet. There's a lot to learn and discover in regards to things. Now, I haven't got anything here in regards to romance and flame, a soulmate. I'm not getting that energy here. Okay, but there's definitely a connection. I'm not saying there isn't a connection, but there are some things that have to be dealt with first. There are some things that need to be moving forward to be able to have that sense of completion within your life. So I do feel like there's a lot to learn and discover yet. Things might not quite work out the way you want them to, but there's still a lot. Be sorry, you didn't post. Nobody knows who's it. I'm not going to say any more than that. Okay. Whoops, I shouldn't say that. B, sorry, B. Okay, so does come up with a sense of the fantasy card. Now, the fantasy does talk about daydreaming, fantasy, and a sense of conception. So it feels like there's a birth of something new. That conception card came up quite well. So there came up quite strongly there. There is a conception. There is a thought of something new. Okay. It tells you to commit to you. Okay. Stay focused, continue, and persistent pays off. So, yeah, it doesn't. So, in regards to B, sorry, I shouldn't have said. Nobody knows who he is. But anyway, in regards to B, I don't get that I do feel like there's still a lot to learn and discover. There is a sense of a conception. So there is a birth of something new. There is a birth of something. Feels like there's a commitment to the path. So it tells you to keep focused, continue to continue. See, I keep getting that word conception. I keep getting there's a birth of something. So that's why I think with the Page of Earth, and it's interesting because the apple has stood out for me here. The apple, and the apple is like love. I just got Aphrodite. That was interesting. I just got Aphrodite there, dancing oracle. Yeah, basically get to know him first. Yeah, you're right. But I got Aphrodite quite strongly here. Don't know why that came through, but I got Aphrodite with the apple, which was interesting, which seemed weird, but okay. So it's about committing to the path. It's about getting to know him. Getting committed to getting to know him is really important here. Persistence pays off. Stay focused. Don't let your mind wander too much. But that was interesting. I just got Aphrodite and I got the apple stood out really strongly here. Okay, Dancing Oracle. So hopefully that helps while I continue with the free list. And it is list closed. Right, hold off on your questions. I'm not up to you guys yet. We're starting that next list. So just give me a minute and I will create. The list is closed. So no more free readings. But if you donate, please let me know. So if you've donated, please let me know. Or let the mods know and they can let me know if I don't quite see. But if you go through Ko-Fi, it will show up. But if you do it any other way, it won't. If you go directly through PayPal, it won't. Right, okay. So let's do this list. Okay, just give me a minute. I'm just going to type up this next. Okay, so where was I? Okay, if everybody's still here, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to give me a quick second to type up. Okay, Divine Feminine, if you're still here. Katrina. TS. Okay, Divine Feminine, Katrina, TS. Okay, Kastavi. Oops. Kastavi. Okay, Intuitive Chosen One. Mirror, if you're still here. Okay, so the list is Divine Feminine, Katrina, and TS. I'll do you three first, and then I'll do Kastavi, Intuitive Chosen One, Mirror. Patricia, if you're still here. Farah. So this is your list. So just keep in mind who you're after. Eliza. Okay, so Divine Feminine, Katrina, and TS, the first three. When I've done those three, and then I will ask for Kastavi, Intuitive Chosen One, Mirror, and then Patricia, Farah. Oops, I didn't spell that right. Liza, Lady Kapira, you're still here. And Suman. Jaden. Right. And, on New York Finest, you donated again. Right. Okay, so I'm going to do the VIP status. So VIP was dancing was New York Finest, and then New York Finest. Sorry, I can't spell. And the Chrislin as well. New York Finest and Chrislin. Right. So let me just do your VIP first. Okay. So I've got let me just get it to the PayPal. Right. Right. Okay. So another quick one. Right. Okay. So just do really quickly. So we've got yep, New York Finest, your one that you donated. Thank you very much. So I'll go back and get your question. Brilliant. Right. Okay. So let's have a look at that one, and then I'll do Kristen's question as well. So Krislin, if I just need your question as well, that's really cool. Right. Does he love me? So let's do this first. Let's go this way, and then we can find out a bit more information. Does he genuinely care about you? And then we'll just get a bit more information. Right. Does he love me? Does he genuinely love me? Let's have a look. Let's do this first. Oh, that was a no. Okay, so that's a no. So let's get a little bit more information here. Let's do the supernatural. So you know that he doesn't love you. So what do you need to do to move on? And then I'm going to do the dark mirror with it. Sorry, I will. Yeah. I'll silent it. Hopefully I can just silence that space. I'll beep it. Add some music to it. Do something. Right. Okay. So what do you need to do to move on? Let's have a look at this. Okay, what do you need to do to move on? Okay, so no. Feels like he disrespects you. Okay, so there is some disrespect there. So I think it's all about, here you got, decide what you want to focus on here in regards to the relationship, New York Finest. If he's disrespectful towards you, then you've got to decide what you're going to focus on. It's totally up to you here. It's about using your own strength, your own courage to make the difference in what you truly want to do. I think you need to really face the truth of the situation, face the facts of what's actually going on here, and decide for yourself. Just drop all the... Oh, that's right, they've dropped in there. Okay, so you've got that sense of interesting with the Eight of Cups, moving on, moving forward into your own life, moving away from it. So you've got to really decide for yourself by using your own strength, your own inner power here, having that inner power to walk away from what's happening in the relationship. Okay, so I do feel like there's this thing, if he's showing you disrespect, again, you got that sense of moving forward in your own life, taking care of yourself, walking away. Okay, decide what you want to focus on in regards to the relationship, and then use that strength, that courage to stand in your own power, have that sense of your own strength, inner strength, to do what you need to do, to look at the truth, the facts of the situation, and to move forward. So let's have a look and see what we've got here. Envious gluttony. What an interesting card. So envious gluttony. Let's have a look and see what it says in the dark mirror. That was 9, wasn't it? Yep, 9. So here we get the sentences. There is hunger sleeping just under the surface, like an animal lurking. This card is not just dark, it is unpleasant, sickly, disgusting. The difference in how we feel in front of a vampire as opposed in front of writhing bugs. It's not an existential darkness that we can paint of romance, drama, and subtle anguish. It is raw, primal, reeking of rotting stench. It feels like there is darkness, and in that black landscape, there is a hole leading to an even greater darkness. And that is calling the urge to press down upon every time. played with, toyed with, treated like something that doesn't belong here. It's like rolling in the mud, bringing out the twisted, refreshing feeling of demeaning oneself. The key is that we don't want to recognize the depth of envy and the anger. We casted it out of ourselves, and now it's truly a parasitic monster, impossible to accept as something that came out of ourselves. What if we bring light to the pitch dark well? What if the scary monster is just a scrawny, starved feeling? What if it's just a little thing, dark as tar indeed, but to be sorry of, not to be feared? Going to the edge of the ravine, savoring the idea of letting go all restraint. Well, that's something deep to think about. Okay, so time for you to start thinking about moving forward on your life. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you want to bring into your relationships? You've got to respect yourself. And that comes from, making sure others respect you as well. Those that in your life should respect you and not disrespect you. Right. So, Chrislyn, your question. So I'm just waiting for Chrislyn's question. Whoops. So I'm just waiting for Chrislyn's question. Wow, okay. Thank you very much, Chrislyn. So I'm just waiting for Chrislyn's question. Oh, yep, got question. Cool. So let's go deep because this is a decent reading. Now let's go into... Okay. Interesting. I've got a couple of things that keep staring at me. So I am going to go... Oops, where are you? That's interesting. So Chrislyn's one here. So let's do this. Whoa, okay. What's going on with the Scorpio? What's going on and where is he? What do you need to know about the relationship? The reason I got one more card's popping out there. Right, okay. Extra card, but that's okay. Okay. Cool. That's brilliant, New York Finest. That's awesome. Right, okay. Whew. So let's have a look. What's going on with this relationship? What's actually happening here? What's his next move towards you? So let's have a look at the bigger picture here. So the first card that popped out was the Four of Swords. And Four of Swords just says, take a moment to take a breath, reflect on what you truly want to create some stability of the mind. Okay, you want to build foundations for new ideas, new paths. So really take a moment to reflect. I feel like to overcome those challenges, to climb those mountains in a way, to have that sense of happiness and joy in your life. It's about having that moment of contemplation and reflection. Think very carefully about it. Okay. There are some things that need to be let go of. There are some things that need to end. There are some things that need to be final. Here with the Ten of Swords, you've got that sense of things ending, things being final. So you're contemplating, you're reflecting about what's been going on and what you actually want in the relationship. But there are some things that need to end. There are some things that need to be final before you can have that new beginning, that new idea, that new plan, that new thing. So there are some things that need to be dealt with here. Whew. I get the sense of, it's interesting because the dog stood out to me here in the card with the Seven of Wands with this. Sorry, we're using the Silver Witchcraft Tarot. Right. So Silver Witch Tarot. So we've got the Seven of Wands here, and the dog stood out. So dog to me was about being loyal, but was also about friendship. So I think you need to building a friendship in there, making sure you guys are on the same page. Seven of Wands is about standing up for what you want. So I think you need to sort of say how you feel and what you want to achieve in the relationship. I think there's a lot of communication needed, but I'm getting a lot about building the friendship here. And Knight of Swords reminds us not to rush, to be in the moment, to not rush, to strategize, to plan about what you want, but to not rush in the journey. So communication, I think, is going to be really important here. So I'm sort of getting a sense of there's some things that you need to be dealt with first. There's definitely some things, not rushing into anything. Don't rush into stuff. Don't rush into the journey. Okay, with the Seven of Chalices and the World. Seven of Chalices is very much about pick the right path. I think you've got a lot of options available to you. There's a lot of options available to you in regards to what to do next. So you need to make sure you don't let your emotions get the better of you and what you choose, okay, and what you choose to do. And with the World card here, there is that sense of moving into new cycles. Being able to move into new cycles. So let's have a look here. Okay, so what's he wanting to do? I feel like he's wanting to decide what he truly wants in his life. I feel like your Scorpio is deciding what they truly want in their life. They're wanting to harvest what they want. They're trying to decide what they truly want. And by making sure they are breaking free from any old habits, any repeated patterns, any sense of addictions in a way, making sure they don't have that sense of, I'm also getting a lust for life, a sense of that lust in the sense of they're dealing with the lustful energy. sexual energy in a way. So they're trying to decide what they truly want in their life, or what they want in their life. And it comes, and I'm getting a sense of a lust, a sense of devil can also be sort of like that sexual addiction sort of energy. So I think there's a lot of truth that needs to be dealt with, a lot of things they need to face, a sense of and expecting the truth as well from within themselves. They're sort of dealing with their own truths as they sort of wanting good fortune. They want good stuff in their life. They're wanting positive energy. They want this. They want whatever move they make towards you has to be positive as they look at the truth, the facts of the situation. So I feel like there's a lot of stuff here. You're wondering how Scorpio feels. I think they're really trying to decide what they want in their life, and there is that sort of sexual energy. There is that sort of, is this going to benefit me in some way? With the devil card can be about, with addictions and bad habits, repeated patterns, is how does it benefit me? So it's how does it benefit them? Scorpio feels like how is it going to benefit them is what they're thinking in their life. Is how's it going to benefit? So they have to really look at the truth of the situation. I think there's a lot that they need to face within that situation here. You've got that sense of, and they're wanting good fortune. They're wanting things to be good. They're wanting good stuff to happen in their life. And again, I get that benefit for them. So the overall picture here I get here is 7 of Swords. And I get that sense of something being taken. So I get that sense of making sure you don't feel as though something's been taken for you. Make sure you stand in your own power in regards to Scorpio. Make sure you stand in your own power in regards to that situation. Okay, so what do you need to do overall is, again, you get that sense of standing in your own power with the Strength card here, having your own strength to sort of move forward, to produce, to be proactive be productive in your journey. Being productive in your journey and staying, keeping on looking at what you're focusing on in regards to the positivity in the journey. So there's quite a lot there. Yeah, there could be a sense of confusion. Chrislyn, there could be a sense of confusion in that whole situation. But you need to make sure that you stand in your own power. Again, I get that sense of making sure you communicate, make sure you guys you're on the same page. I think you guys need to communicate. I feel like there's a lack of communication in some way. I think you guys need to communicate how you feel without any expectations, Chrislyn. I think you need to communicate how you actually feel, honestly. Yeah. So you need to find a way to I think you need to communicate how you feel. I think you guys need to make sure you guys are on the same page. With the 7 of Wands is that sense of communicate, that sense of standing up for your convictions, standing up for what you believe, making sure you're on the same page. Because I feel like there's a battle going on with the no contact. Yeah. So I think you need to stand in your own power. So I think you need to have that strength, that courage. Okay? Stay positive and be productive. I think that where that productive thing is, where you sense of sort of talking about how you feel, being productive and what do I want to say? Yeah, I just get the sense of being productive and making sure that you guys are on the same page, make sure you communicate. Communication is going to be really important here. And until you communicate, I don't think there's any moving forward. And I think that's why he's unsure about what to do next. If there's no communication, he's unsure about what to do. Yeah, I'm not. It depends on whether you reach out to him, whether you take the plunge. You being productive, Chrislyn. If you're productive in that connection, I think if you can reach out gently, you know, without being too bossy or too forward, but definitely feels like there's that sense of being productive in it, being active. Let's have a look. So we've got, let's just have a quick look here. I just want to have a look at something. Very, definitely communication needed here. You've got that sense of impact. Now you've got to connect that mind, body, and spirit. Emotional needs, physical needs. Yeah, overcome. Because there's 5 cards. 5 cards to me is that overcoming. Okay, so you need to overcome the need for communication. That struggle for communication needs to happen. You need to communicate. Overcome the challenge. Overcome the struggles of communication. Here you've got the sense of new beginnings in regards to the actions taken, the physical actions taken. Here with the wands. The energy of the relationship. The emotions of the relationships and new beginnings to that. So yeah. And here you've got the expansion of your life overall. The growth of your life. The growth. The expansion. So yeah. Right. Divine Feminine is next. After Divine Feminine. So wrapping up. Right. Ending soon. So let me do this. Because I'm wrapping up everybody readers now. That means everybody who's in chat in that first hour, I'm going through that's on that list. So who was after Chrislyn? Divine Feminine, sorry. Divine Feminine, Katrina. Right, Katrina and TS. If you guys are still here, please type. So I'm going to do Divine Feminine and then I'll do Katrina and TS. Okay, so that's the list. Right, let's have a look here. Let me just put this away. Sorry, I've got to put things away as I go, otherwise I can't move. You're welcome, Chrislyn. I hope it sort of gives you some things to think about. Come back and re-listen to the reading. Sometimes when you have these larger readings, sometimes best to sort of all these readings, come back and listen to it. Come back and listen to the reading again because it's going to give you a little bit of clarity in your own time. So don't forget, if you're unsure about your reading, come back and re-listen to it when the live is finished. And if you re-listen to the live, you'll find yourself getting a little bit more information. Okay, so let's do Hocus Pocus in this one. How does Celia feel? Scylla, because you're in no contact. Okay, so what's actually going on here? How does Scylla feel? That's me being clumsy. Right. Okay, let's do it this way. Okay. I'm going to have to do a third card because that just popped in. So, there. Right, Divine Feminine. Sometimes the extra card pops out, so we'll just do that way. Right, so let's have a look. We've got 7 of Potions. Okay, 7 here with Potions, like the 7 of Cups, is that sense. I'm getting a sense of like the shiny, like they're thinking of you as something that may not be quite, you know, they're looking at their options, looking at what's available to you, but I still get that sense of you've got that shiny thing, but they're not really, and they know it's not good for them in some way, feel like it's not good. Feels like they're juggling a lot of stuff in their life. They're juggling a lot of stuff going on with the 2 of Pentacles. Feels like they're sort of juggling things going on. They've got options. I feel like they're juggling things, juggling a lot of stuff going on in their life. So with the 5 of Lightning, I feel like there's a sense of feeling defeated, feeling like things are not going in the right direction, like they're walking away from something. Okay, they get that sense of, it just feels like they're not really interested. Scylla's just not really interested. They're just wanting to walk away. They're feeling defeated. They're feeling like they've got a lot of stuff going on. They've got too much going on in their life right now. Okay, it's just overwhelming. I feel like they're feeling very overwhelmed at this time, so they're not really focused on connecting with you at this time. I just feel like they've got a lot of stuff happening at the moment. Okay, they've got a lot of stuff happening at the moment. Things may change, but right now, things are they've just got a lot of, Scylla's got a lot of stuff going on, and there's a lot of stuff happening. Feels like they're being pulled in different directions. They've got a lot of stuff, a lot of options to them. They've got a lot of paths that they're traveling. And so they're feeling very overwhelmed and defeated sort of energy. So I think they're just feeling like there's just too much going on in their life right now. They're just too busy to think about things right now. Okay, TS, Katrina. No, I did see Katrina's, I think. So I'm just having a look here. Okay, right, and then TS. It's all right. I'll put Katrina's in quickly. It's only a quick question. I hope it's just a quick. I'll just do it really quickly. And then I'll do TS. Didn't. Sometimes people get flick in and out and they'll come back. Watch. So I'll just do it quickly. It's all right. I'm doing everyone's reading. Did Natalie get caught by Megan talking to me, and that's why I was blocked? Let's have a look. What's going on here? Yep, totally. The truth, the facts, focusing on the negative aspects of it. So, yep. Did Natalie get caught by Megan? Yep, definitely. And that's why you were blocked. Yep. Okay, TS. Okay, so who was after TS? Kastavi and Intuitive Chosen One and Mirror. Okay, so next is Kastavi, Intuitive Chosen One, and Mirror. How does A feel towards you? Let's do the Field Tarot. How does A feel towards you? What's going on here? How does A feel towards you? Whoa, okay. 2 cards flew out with that one. Ooh, okay, interesting, because we get 5 of Cups. Again, I get with this card here is that sense of disappointment. Things are not quite working out the way they want to, focusing a little bit on the negative energy. And so I think it gives you, so how does A actually feel? That was the card that flew out, was that sense of focusing on the negative aspects of it, feeling like they're disappointed, things not quite. So I do feel like they're not quite, they don't know how you feel. This is their perception. Remember, this is their perception. Okay, this is A's perception in the situation. And so I think it gives you a sense of an understanding, a breakthrough. I think you need to, their perception is that things, their understanding, their perception, their breakthrough is that things are negative. Okay, this is how A feels towards you. They're feeling very, like, they're focusing on the negative aspects. They have this sense of doubt, this doubts creeped in, this disappointment that things are not quite what they perceive. Okay, so TS, I think A is their perception of you is that they're disappointed that things are not quite working out the way they want. That's the energy that they have in the situation. Okay, so this is the list that I've closed, that was being closed within the first hour. So no more free readings after this, because I've been on for an hour and a half already and I just want to wrap up. I'm just doing the wrap up now. So no more free readings. This is the last of them. So Gustavi, and then Intuitive Chosen One. So if you guys are still here, so Gustavi, Intuitive Chosen One. It can take a little bit of time to come through sometimes with the delays and things. So that's why I sort of flick back. Right, Gustavi. Then I'll do Intuitive Chosen One if you've got your question, and then I'll go back and do Mirrors One. Okay, so we've got these yes and no questions again. Will MD Harris call you? Let's have a look. Will MD Harris Khan call you this month? Okay, you can do yes and no questions. It's sort of going to give you a card. Yeah, there may be some contact on some level. There may be some contact. There's going to be some contact. There may be some contact at this stage. The energy is, yes, there'll be some contact. So maybe they're thinking about it. There's some action in there. So energetically, there may be some contact going on, Gustavi. Right. No, Jaden, not yet. This is the list. So at the moment, I'm doing Intuitive Chosen One, Mirror, and Patricia. Intuitive chosen mirror. Just have to wait. So I'm just going through and having a look here at who's typed their question once. Okay. Should have chosen one I'm still waiting for. Okay, that's a sort of a legal situation here. Okay. Now, Mira, that's a question that I cannot answer. So I'm going to hide that comment because I'm not going to. Okay, so I want to know still who's here. I'm not going to do that one, so I'm going to miss that question. That's a legalities question. When it comes to jail and things like that, they can get a bit too legal issues. So I'm a little bit cautious about doing those type of questions. Make sure you've read my the description box down below and type of questions that I'll accept. Okay, intuitive chosen one, Patricia. Intuitive chosen one hasn't typed in a question. So no legalities question. Guys, think about your question carefully. Make sure you've read the disclaimer. I will not do medical questions. I will not do anything to do with pregnancy, and I will not do anything to do with legalities. And legalities include court cases and things like that. So please think about your question when it comes to people being in jail or prison or anything like that. That's a legal issue. And I can get into a lot of trouble as a reader to advise you on that. So, yep, that's cool. Thanks, Lady Kapira. Know you're still here. Thank you. Patricia, brilliant. Okay. So I want you guys, that's why it's really important that you think about your question, because there are some things I will not answer: medically, legal, pregnancy, and third-party questions. Think about your questions when it involves relationships that have nothing to do with you. When you're just being nosy, I'm not going to answer those. I'm going to get really tough on that. Okay, I don't do celebrity readings. I don't do things that don't involve you. Put it that way. I don't do readings that don't involve you. So I want you to think really carefully about your questions. So I'm going to do, for Patricia, I keep getting the cats rule the earth deck here. Oh, so as soon as I said your name, here I get 5 of swords. So to me, it's about overcoming the challenges of your ideas in regards to your finances. Okay, so I do feel like there's a sense of you needing to overcome. So intuitive chosen one, can I have your question, please? Okay, so I don't want to get one yet. So what are your next steps? What do you need to do? You need to look at how you can win in regards to your finances, how you can overcome the thoughts and ideas you might have in regards to your finances. Okay, your thoughts and ideas you might have in regards to your own. So what is your next step? That's interesting. That came out twice. Okay, there's some things that you need to walk away from in regards to your finances. I think there's some emotional stuff that you need to let go of, that you need to move away from in regards to your finances. So you need to really look at what's your emotional connection to some of what you spend in your money. Yeah, no, I know, but that involves you. Dancing Oracle, that involves you. That's a different story. When it involves you, it's a different story. if the celebrity involves you. That's a different story. That's okay. Okay, so Patricia, your next step is to walk away. Dancing Oracle, I'm talking about when I'm talking about celebrity readings, I'm talking about just being nosy when you're talking about something that doesn't involve you. Okay, so Patricia, your next step is to look at what you need to walk away emotionally and what you're spending. Thanks, Intuitive Chosen One. I've got your questions next. Okay, so your next step is to look at what's your emotional spending, what you need to walk away from that's an emotional spending. Okay, that's what you need to look at. That's super important here. Okay, Intuitive Chosen One, you posted. Cool. Nearly there. Right, Intuitive Chosen One. Now, who was after Intuitive Chosen One? Farah and Eliza. Thank you, Dancing Oracle. That's muchly appreciated. Putting that in. So who has currently feelings for you? That's a better question. Yeah. What do you spend on that's an emotional connection? Are you buying something that you're emotionally connected to, Patricia? Might be something that you need to leave behind. There's lots of ways to interpret that emotional spending. Okay, who's got feelings for you currently? Feelings can be Intuitive Chosen One. Now, when you're thinking about who's got feelings for you, now you're going to have someone that's got feelings for you. You may not be absolutely not interested in them. So is that really the best question that you can do for yourself? You're at. Only you know that question, Patricia, that answer. Okay, who's got feelings? Now, this is a really tricky one to do because there's going to be lots of people that have got feelings for you. Okay. This is going to be careful. You're going to be really careful here. So when you're thinking about someone who's got feelings for you, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're interested in them. They could be obsessive feelings. You've got to be very careful because this is a very open-ended question here. Okay, the two cards that popped out. Whoa, okay. It's interesting because I got Two of Pentacles here and the Nine of Pentacles. And it's interesting, on this card is a labyrinth. Okay, so what is a labyrinth in regards to feelings? Feels like you've got to walk into the center. So you need to dive deep into this. I think, like I said, I think this is an absolutely, yeah, and I do think you need to be very careful about who has romantic feelings for you. Because just because someone's got romantic feelings for you doesn't mean that you want them into your life. So in regards to that, it's just sort of saying that you've got a labyrinth. So you got to walk into the center of it, and then you've got to contemplate in which direction you want to physically move into. You have to decide for yourself. You're welcome, Patricia. Okay, so you have to walk into the center, and I think it's about you deciding in which direction you want to move into. Okay. I feel like you've got to move into different directions. I think you've got different directions. Here you've got 9 of Pentacles, which is sort of like taking some time out for yourself. I feel like you need to walk into, you need to contemplate what you want to gain in your life. Okay, so you've really got to take a moment to sort of reflect and contemplate. Okay, so they're sort of saying to me that you need to be the sort of, what Spirit is sort of saying, or what the cards are saying in here, is that you need to really sort of think about yourself. You need to think about what you want. Well, only you can decide that. You've got the power, intuitive chosen one. You've got the free will. Okay? The cards ask you to contemplate, to reflect, to decide in which direction you want to go in. It's your action, your own free thoughts. Okay? And you've got that sense of taking the time out for yourself. Okay, so take a moment to breathe. Take a moment to reflect on what you want to do for you. The cards are saying you can be empowered. You don't have to rely on just because someone's interested doesn't mean they're going to be the right person. Okay, next. Okay, next was Farah and Eliza. Okay, I don't see Farah's one there, but I'll do Eliza. Okay, next one is okay, Lady Kapira, Suman, and then Jaden. Okay, no worries. Eliza. Let's do the magical Nordic. What's Pat's feelings for Eliza? What does Eliza need to know about Pat's feelings? Okay, what's his next actions? Okay, feelings. They're in limbo. Unsure. Any actions? Dreaming of what could be, romance, thinking about it. Okay, so yeah, I do feel like they're in limbo, they're unsure, they're hanging around, they're in suspension in regards to it. There is a dream, they're dreaming about it, but doesn't mean they're going to take any action. Feels like they're thinking about it, they're dreaming about it, but they're not actually taking any action here. There's no action. They're in suspension, they're in limbo. So they're not actually moving forward on the situation, but they're thinking about it. They're thinking about the romance, they're dreaming about it, but they're not taking any action there. Okay. Right, Lady Kapira. Suman and Jaden. It's the last 4. Lady Kapira. Right. I'll just put that up. Right, so don't know who's still here, but I'll just go do the questions as they are. There's no contact situation, so let's do the Lord of the Rings. Oh, okay. Interesting. These 3 cards flipped out, so I'm just going to do them as 3 cards. First card is Page of Swords. There's some truth that needs to be faced, basically, is what I'm getting here with him looking at the sword. There's some clarity needed in the situation. There's some truth that needs to be looked at. Okay, so you need to look at the facts of the situation. You need to awaken. Okay, there is a sense of awakening to the situation. Again, I get that sense of facing. You need to look at the message that you've received, that you're getting. No contact. So you need to really look at the situation, get some real facts about it. It's basically that whatever's going on, if there's no contact, not interested. Okay? So if there's no contact at this time, you need to awaken to the situation here. I do feel like you need to look at the messages. You need to look at what you're getting. I'm just getting non-verbal messages here. You need to look at the facts. So you need to look within yourself and look at the facts of the situation. They're basically saying that. Lady Kapira. Right. Ooh. No. Didn't think so. I'm sorry, Patricia, that you felt that way. I felt it was very much about me just saying that you need to, I think you got a lot of emotional, that you need to deal with a lot of emotional. That's the message that I got through. They didn't give me a lot of information. I'm sorry that you felt that way, Patricia, but that was the information. I'm sorry that you felt that way. That was the information that I got, and I delivered that information that I gave to you. That was what I got in the reading, and I'm sorry that you felt that way. Okay, Lady Kapira, let's have a look. Will I succeed in the development? So what do you need to know about the creating of the development of the Arcane project? Let's have a look. Okay, we got the Moon card here, Lady Kapira. Okay. So here, oh, we've got 2 cards here. So we got the Moon card and we got 5 of Cups. So it really depends on what are you afraid of? What are you focusing on here? Okay, so really in regards to will you succeed, depends on what you decide to, what you're focusing on, what you're afraid of, what you're scared to move forward on the journey. It really depends on what you're thinking about. So it depends on what you focus. That's going to make a big difference. So will you succeed? depends on how you focus. If you can focus on positive aspects, on what you can control, then you'll do really, really well. But if you focus on the negative aspects, then you'll not do so well in that project. That's there. So that's really important here, to think about what are you focusing on. If you can focus on what you can control, the things that you can change, what you, even when you're afraid of something, enabling you to able to move forward on that. You can face that fear, but do it anyway. You're going to be successful, but it really depends on what you focus on, Lady Kapira. So that's going to be really important here. Look at the things that you can control and don't worry about the things that you cannot. Don't stress too much about those things. Focus on what you can control. Have that sense of clarity, allowing yourself that sense of harmony. It's interesting. I just got the words like harmony, that sense of harmonization, that sense of being able to communicate clearly about what you truly want. That's going to be your focus there. Oh, okay. So, Jaden, your last question. Patricia, so what I basically said about your reading was that sense of looking at what you're emotionally spending and what you need to release and let go in regards to that situation. That seems to be the big thing. In regards to your finances, was about looking at what you're spending financially. Yeah, focus and integration, Lady Kapira. So let me just go back to your question. Like financially, they're basically saying what you need to do is look at what you're financially spending in regards to your emotions. So that's your big thing that you need to focus on. I'm sorry that there wasn't anything else that came out really in the reading, but they were focusing more on, what is your that's the only way you're going to improve your spending financially, is by looking at what you're spending on things that you may not really need, or things that you're spending in impulse, things that you might spend in the moment without thinking about it. It could be that daily coffee. Do you need to spend that $5 a day on coffee? As an idea, it's just as a thought, as an example. It's all about thinking about what are you spending. That's what they're saying. To improve your finances was all about looking at what you're spending financially. That can be really important. Oh, Jaden, can I just have your question? Yeah, I will, Dancing Oracle, no worries. So, Patricia, that's the basic message I got for you, was all about your spending. And maybe because sometimes we just buy things that we have an emotional connection to. It could be that magazine that we buy, and we might not really need it, but we buy it for the sake of it. It could be, for some of us, it could be that tarot deck or oracle deck, or, we're buying things that could be, and we need to improve our finances. So we've got a budget. We have to think about what's of value to our journey in regards to what we spend. So that was basically the message I got. I'm sorry, Patricia, that you felt that it was rushed. I didn't mean to do that. Sometimes that will happen. Okay, Jaden. Last reading. I don't think there was anyone else that was still in chat that I needed to get out their message. So I just wanted to I really apologize to Patricia if she felt like that I wasn't really focused, but that was the message that I got for her, was basically about the emotional. Okay. Yeah, I think Farah may have moved on, but anyway. So Jaden, let's have a look. What's going to be this month? And I got the Siddhartha Tarot for you here. Whoa. Okay. That popped out. Okay, the two cards that popped out for you, Jaden, was Two of Pentacles and 8 of Cups. And that tells me that you're being pulled in different directions, that you're juggling a lot of stuff at the moment. It feels like you've got a lot of stuff going on, Jaden, for the month. So I think being organized is going to be super important for you this month. There are some things that you're going to have to walk away from. Okay, there are some things that you're going to have to leave behind that you're not going to be able to do basically this month. I think you have to prioritize what's important to you this month. That's going to be super important here. So that's going to be the big thing for you for this month, is to make sure that you have that sense of what's important. What's your priority this month? Because there are some things that you're not going to be able to do, some things that you're going to have to walk away from. Okay, so that's super important there. Yeah, that's okay, Patricia. I understand. I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, I'm sorry that you felt like the reading was rushed and that I wasn't really focused. But that was the main message I got, was basically you needed to have a think about things that you might be spending. Anyway, that was that for that one. So, yeah. No worries. Not everyone is for everybody, but yeah. So, yeah, that's it from Jaden. That was the last reading there. So that was it. Yeah, sometimes, Patricia, the messages that come through can be quite quick, and Spirit sometimes doesn't want me to waffle. They just want to give me the exact message you need. And that's why sometimes it might feel like it's rushed. It's not a lot of information. So that's it from me. I've been on for 2 hours. So that's it. Thank you to everybody who's been here. Muchly appreciated. Thank you very much for those that donated. Thanks for the support, guys. Thanks for liking the video and subscribing. Muchly appreciated here. Yeah, the way I read, sometimes my messages might come through and they might be very quick and very short and blunt and to the point. There's no waffling. I don't, and sometimes Spirit might give me more messages that can be a little bit more in depth. It's depending on what you need to focus on. Sometimes they don't want to give a lot of information. They want to just give things very quick, very short and to the point. And so that's the messages that come through. I don't read all what the card means. Cards got many layers depending on the context of your question, depending on what you need to know at the moment. So sometimes when I read, my answers might seem very to the point and no waffling. And then other times they can be much deeper and softer and gentler. And sometimes they can feel very harsh. And I'm sorry if that's the message that comes through. But sometimes it's just what you need in that moment. So when you take a moment to sort of breathe and you think about, oh, that was the answer I got, it sort of becomes clearer later on. Sometimes not straight away. Sometimes in time, the answers will become a lot clearer. So sometimes when I read, messages are to the point straight. And then sometimes when I read, they're much more expanded and much more. So when you get 2 cards, you're not always going to get a lot of information. It all depends on the question asked, depends on what Spirit wants you to know, what your guides want you to know, to what I get through. So it can vary. And so I'm sorry if at times readings might feel like they're a little bit rushed. Oh, Mira, I did your reading. I did your reading, Mira. Oh, no, I said I wasn't going to do your reading because of the question you asked. I can't do anything about legalities, Mira. No, Mirror, I couldn't do your I think you asked about something with... Hi, Patsy. Sorry, I'm finishing up. I'm sorry. Yeah, before you ask your questions, you do need to check the disclaimer down below, because there are some things I won't read about. Patsy, I'm just finishing up. I've been on for over 2 hours. I really have to get going, guys. I've got some things. I've got a client I've got to catch. Oh, shoot, what's the time? Yeah, I've got a client. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, you'll have to catch me on Friday. Mirror, you'll have to wait till another couple of days, 2 days. Sorry, guys, I have to go. I've got a client, so I'll talk to you all later. Bye. I better get going. I better get that going. I better get going. Thanks to everybody.